Ma'am, what is the process to take admission for LLM in law schools like Harvard and Cambridge?
You're talking about the top tier one law schools or the universities, which is like you can say Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale. The application process is the same. So it is about one and a half year you should give yourself to properly plan, think about the strategies.
Ma'am, are there any scholarship or financial aid available for students who want to pursue LLM from abroad?
Then organizations and groups like Rotary clubs, then private individuals also, they also want to promote and help students who are competent and who are deserving of higher education. They also provide for scholarships. So there are n number of scholarships available for students who want to pursue their LLM abroad. Thank you so much for calling me, and I would just want to leave it here with, I want to tell everyone who's pursuing their LLM or thinking about doing it or any other career path, cut the noise, listen to your inner voice and move forward in the direction that you feel is best for you.
Hello everyone, welcome you all to a new episode of this podcast series. In our today's episode, we have with us Rishika Arora ma'am. She's a practicing advocate at the Delhi High Court. Thank you so much ma'am for coming to our show.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you for calling me.
Ma'am, please tell us about yourself and your legal journey.
So I did my BA LLB honors from IP University, Indraprastha University. Thereafter, I went for my master's. I did it from Columbia Law School. I came back in the year 2015, and since then I have been in active practice. I am into litigation on the original side. So I did my master's from Columbia Law School, which is in USA. So 2014 to 15 was the year that I did my master's degree program. And thereafter, I came back here and I'm into litigation.
Ma'am, how was your experience in Columbia Law School?
I think it was a life-changing experience, I would say. Not just that, I got to go for the higher education, but your overall personality, your outlook towards the profession, that changes a lot. So you have a better edge over others, I would say, if you are going for your master's degree abroad, because you have an in-depth knowledge of that particular subject that you would be doing your master's in, and the level of professionalism that is there when you are amongst the other students who have come from different parts of the world, especially in the foreign universities. I'm talking specifically, not the Indian university, but Indian universities and foreign universities, obviously they have their own pros and cons. So you are amongst professionals from all over the world who are there for their master's degree as well, for having an in-depth knowledge of that particular subject. And it just is very emancipating, I would say.
Like most of the people these days and previously as well, they would like to go to abroad and do their LLM. And what is the main reason people are going and pursuing their LLM from abroad?
See, as I said before also, that this is to get an in-depth knowledge of the particular subject that you want to specialize in. So in case you have an interest in tax law, right? So you will want to go and do your master's in taxation. So if you have an interest in intellectual property law, so you would want to go and do your master's and specialization in intellectual property law. Thereafter, that field in particular becomes a field which you have mastered, not theoretically, I would say. I won't say practically, because that only comes through experience once you start practicing in that field. But that theoretical knowledge is very important. So a lot of students, after they do their BA LLB, it is the next step for an in-depth knowledge. So that's why a lot of students want to opt for going for LLM. And also, as nowadays it's such a competitive market, I would say. So people want that in their CV. If there is an LLM from a foreign university, the firms give higher weightage to those students who have done their masters or who have done their specialization from a foreign university, and then they come back to India and they are in these firms. So it also becomes a plus factor for these firms, I would say.
Ma'am, what is the ideal time to start your preparation for LLM abroad?
I would say about a year to year and a half prior to the date of filing of your application with the particular university, because you need to work on your profile. You just don't need to apply for that application, which is a format that is given, but it is very taxing process because they want to see the progress that you have made in your profession and how capable you are and what you bring to the platter as a student of that particular university. Amalgamation of students from different countries it is. So it is so competitive that there would be somebody with 10 years of experience who's sitting in the same classroom as you when you are applying, when you are there after applying, and after getting admitted to that university. There'll be somebody after 5 years of experience, but that student will probably bring in something extra. Maybe the academic record is better. Maybe they have worked with any other organization or with the government. So it is about 1.5 year you should give yourself to properly plan, think about the strategies, how you want to pursue that application, because you will not just stick yourself, it will not just be one university that you'll be applying to. You will probably be applying to about 5 to 10 universities on an average. So each university has a different application process. The requirement is different. So that entire process, preparing for it, it'll take you about 1 to 1.5 years.
Ma'am, what are the major differences between pursuing your LLM from India and from abroad?
So if you are pursuing your LLM from a foreign university than from India, you're also getting the knowledge of that jurisdiction, that foreign jurisdiction. After that, you also are eligible to sit and apply for the license to practice in that particular jurisdiction. I'm talking specifically US and Canada. UK, you can still apply and you can give the exam and you can be a barrister there. However, if you are planning to settle or you want to work in US or Canada, there is a basic eligibility criteria which you need to fulfill. That is by taking certain courses and credits that will be given to you after taking those courses from the university. And those credits will make you eligible to apply and sit for the exam, for the bar exam of that particular state that you'll be applying to in US and Canada particularly.
Ma'am, what is the approximate cost if I want to pursue my LLM from abroad?
So it varies from university to university. If you're applying to a tier 3 university, tier 2 university, or tier 1 university, the cost varies from anywhere between about 20 lakhs INR. It can also go to up to 1 CR. And if you add to it the cost of living, then that also adds up to it. So the cost is very variable from different universities. From university to university, it varies.
So, ma'am, are the hostel facilities available there, or students have to find their own accommodation?
So it's very flexible. Though the universities do provide you residential accommodation, you can share it with other students. As in hostel facilities, as you're saying, it is available there, but then they also give you the option to look for your residential place nearby the campus. So it's very flexible. Though the option is given by the university, they would extend their help to it. After you get admitted, you get the email from the accommodation, this department of the university, that you can take their accommodation that is available with the university. But if not, then there are a lot of other places that you can approach directly through the brokers available there, or through any other link that you can go and you can choose your own accommodation.
Ma'am, what is the process to take admission for LLM in law schools like Harvard and Cambridge?
So you're talking about the top tier 1 law schools or the universities, which is like, you can say Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale. The application process is the same. Obviously, every university has their own criteria of judging. Every university will give you some change. There are some changes in the application process, like the SOPs or the questions that they would be asking the candidates or the students who are applying. But the most important thing is your letter of recommendation. The letter of recommendation that you get from somebody in your profession. For example, if you are working as a law researcher, as an LR with one of the justices, then their letter of recommendation holds very high value. So these top universities will look at these letter of recommendations from the higher officials, or the maybe a lawyer from or a senior advocate from our profession. They would look at the letter of recommendation, and not just that the name is mentioned, they would look at the content of the letter of recommendation, what good things that professional has to say about you. These universities highly rely on these letter of recommendations. Then, of course, goes on your SOPs, then your CV, all these combined. This is what the process of application is in any of the universities. But however, the stronger your letter of recommendation, the stronger your CV, the stronger your SOP, the higher your chances of getting into these top tier 1 universities, be it Harvard, be it Yale, be it Oxford, be it Cambridge, be it LSE. All these universities look at how strong your application is.
And ma'am, which is the ideal month to start your preparation?
So in case you're planning to apply in the year 2025 for admission in the year 2026, right? So you should start preparing at least a year before. So 2024 is the ideal time for you to start preparing. The application process, however, will start in 2025 for fall or following year 2026 admissions. But it is very, very important that you start preparing your applications at least a year prior to it, because your letter of recommendations will take time. Your SOP building will take time. Your CV, your profile building in all will take a lot of time, from 1 to 1.5 years.
Ma'am, are there any scholarship or financial aid available for students who want to pursue LLM from abroad?
Yes. So the universities per se, they also provide scholarship programs. But other than that, there are private organizations, there are trusts, there are individuals also who are helping students to achieve their dreams. So they also provide scholarship programs. So trusts like Tata Trust, then organizations and groups like Rotary clubs, then private individuals also, they also want to promote and help students who are competent and who are deserving of higher education. They also provide for scholarships. So there are n number of scholarships available for students who want to pursue their LLM abroad. And universities also have financial aid programs where they offer in form of scholarships or loan or part scholarships, where the students can apply, which you can apply with your application process, with the application that you will be filing with the university for the LLM. You can apply for that with the financial aid application, and you can also approach the universities directly. Sometimes students also directly approach the universities seeking for financial aid, and the universities do give it good consideration. If the student is deserving, they will give you financial aid and support.
What advice would you give to someone who is returning back to India after pursuing his LLM from abroad?
I would say start applying to law firms in India before you return. I think when you are pursuing your LLM there, that is the right time to start applying to the law firms in India if you're planning to come back to India after pursuing your law LLM from abroad. You start pursuing and you start, literally making yourself present out there before Indian law firms, telling them that you've done your LLM from abroad and now you're planning to return to India with that knowledge from another jurisdiction, and it is highly valued here in Indian firms.
Ma'am, what are the job prospects for LLM graduates from abroad?
So if you're talking about India, that after doing LLM, one is coming back to India, the job prospect obviously increases. Because A, you have a master's degree, which is a specialization, and B, it is from a foreign university, which is you're bringing something extra back to your country, right? So the firm these days do highly encourage their associates to have LLM from foreign universities, and they look for candidates who have an LLM degree from foreign universities. But if you are talking about job prospects in the country where you are doing LLM, the foreign country, or the probably if you're doing LLM from USA, or if you're doing LLM from Canada or UK, if that is where the job prospects are, it varies from country to country. But however, if you are doing LLM from that particular jurisdiction, you have an understanding of the law of that particular jurisdiction. So you are given it is an added advantage to you, and as well as you become qualified to apply for the license in that particular jurisdiction. So your job prospect obviously increases, and it is a higher chance for you to get job there after doing LLM than not having an LLM from that jurisdiction and trying to apply for a job there.
Okay. And ma'am, does it help in getting a job in international organization?
Most certainly. If you are doing your LLM from I would say a tier 1 university, your job prospects become higher. If an international organization is looking, it'll look at the cream de la, right? It'll look at the students from the topmost universities who have that kind of capability of dealing with those issues, and those universities will approach, or the organizations, the international organizations will directly approach those universities during the time when they are looking for hiring process. There are specific days after when you enroll yourself as an LLM and you're studying. So after you've completed about 6-7 months, they have they have 2 days set out for you where these organizations reach out to those universities. I'm talking about majorly top tier 1 universities, where they're asking and seeking candidates to come and join their organization.
Ma'am, are there any exams required in India which you have to take after pursuing your LLM from abroad?
No. So once you have, if you have your bachelor's degree from here, if you have done your BA LLB from here in India, and then you are pursuing your LLM from abroad, you do not have to take any additional exam once you come back. You've already given your bar, the bar council exam, the AIBE. You've already given that exam in India, then you are licensed and you can practice in India. However, if you're doing your bachelor's, or you are doing your bachelor's degree from abroad and then you're coming here, then you have to give some exams, then you have to qualify to become a lawyer here, and then you have to obviously give your exam to get your license to practice in India.
Ma'am, I've seen many a times people pursue their LLM from India and then they go to abroad to pursue their another LLM.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any bar on the number of LLM people can pursue, or there is no bar?
No, there is no bar into taking n number of specializations that you want. However, the university that will be selecting you will look at the pattern, will look at your CV, how you've grown. So it's not that easy to just get an LLM, to get an admission in a university to pursue your LLM. The university does see that how enthusiastic or how you are structuring your career going forward, because all that you have to mention to that university. So you can do an LLM if you want to do probably in corporate law. So if you've done your LLM in India in corporate law, and then you are going abroad to do another LLM from another jurisdiction, that is a valid reason. But if you've done your corporate law LLM here in India, then you thought that, I'm going to do taxation or maybe IP law in another university, the university will think twice that why there is a change in the career path, like, from corporate law, why in IP now? So you need to justify yourself to that university.
Ma'am, if someone wants to pursue his LLM from abroad, is there any WhatsApp group where they can join in and post their query?
So Integrating Blocks has its own WhatsApp group, Telegram group, as well as it is on Instagram. So anybody who wants to pursue LLM, has any query relating to it, or is lost about how to go about the application process, can reach out to Integrating Blocks through WhatsApp, Instagram, or Telegram.
And ma'am, if they want to get in touch with you?
If anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'm available on my email as well as on my Instagram handle, which is Step It Up with Rishika. So anybody can get in touch with me directly there.
What advice would you give to law students who are confused that whether to pursue their LLM from India or abroad?
I would say first sit down with yourself and think what career path do you and how do you want to structure your career. Do you see yourself pursuing your career abroad? Do you see yourself working in international law firms, or do you see yourself here in India? And even if you are seeing yourself here in India, do you see, after getting an LLM degree from abroad, how it is going to structure and help your career path in India? So all that one has to decide before, and of course the finances. One also has to look at the financial aspects of it, whether the financial capacity is there, depending on the university that you are pursuing. Even if you're taking loan and pursuing that LLM, then you have to see and you have to structure how you're going to pay off that loan. If there is a plan B, maybe scholarships are also awarded at, there are certain criteria. So all that has to be thought about. And then you figure out whether you want to do LLM from India or do you want to do LLM from abroad. So there are so many criteria to look into, which relate from the specialization that you want to do, the area of specialization that you're looking at, the finances, the university, what kind of career path, how do you see yourself in the next 10 years or 20 years from now. So all that one has to look at and then decide whether to do LLM from India or from abroad.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming to our show.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for calling me. And I would just want to leave it here with, I want to tell everyone who's pursuing their LLM or thinking about doing it or any other career path, cut the noise, listen to your inner voice, and move forward in the direction that you feel is best for you.